Hello everyone, it's Vishu. Today, I'll be telling you the story of Hirara, one of the most tragic souls in the Scarlet Sect. A girl whose gratitude turned into devotion, and whose devotion eventually became obsession. Before we begin, let's quickly understand a few important terms. The Mason is a mystical river that hangs upside down in the sky, while Ukifune is a powerful great armament capable of creating an illusionary world that resembles hell itself. Now, with that out of the way, let's dive into Hirara's story. Hirara wasn't always the person she is today. As a child, she was raised by one of the most famous geishas in the Flower District. However, her teacher lived in constant fear of one thing: aging and the loss of beauty. One night, consumed by that fear, the geisha set the entire tea house on fire. As everything burned around them, she held young Hirara in her arms and said, "Never forget. Erosion is the most vile curse in this world." By erosion, she didn't simply mean growing old. She meant the inevitable fading of everything beautiful in life. Her teacher believed that only by turning something into ash could its beauty be preserved forever. Then, in the middle of the flames, someone appeared. That person was Hanabi. Without hesitation, Hanabi grabbed Hirara's hand and pulled her out of the burning building. That single moment changed Hirara's life forever. Afterward, Hirara was brought to the Scarlet Sect, where she voluntarily became Hanabi's personal guard. For Hanabi, saving Hirara was simply an act of kindness. But for Hirara, it became the most important moment of her life. She admired Hanabi deeply and wanted to repay her, not just by protecting her from enemies, but by protecting her from something much greater: erosion. The slow decay that eventually takes away everything beautiful. Years later, Hirara discovered a forbidden great armament known as Ukifune. She believed that if she could gain its power, she would finally be able to protect Hanabi forever. The moment she touched the armament, she obtained incredible power. But the price was devastating. Her body became trapped inside an illusionary hell beneath the Mason, a world filled with endless slaughter and suffering. There, Hirara fought countless evil spirits and absorbed their power. But while gaining strength, she slowly began losing her sanity. From within that world, she could observe Hanabi from afar. At first, she watched with admiration. Hanabi shined like the sun itself. But as time passed, Hirara witnessed Hanabi's struggles. She saw her endure pain. She saw her suffer for the honor of the Scarlet Sect. She saw her fall, rise again, and continue fighting no matter the cost. To Hirara, this was proof that Hanabi was being consumed by erosion. The beautiful person she cherished was slowly being worn down by the cruelty of the world. The realization broke her heart. And that was when her admiration transformed into obsession. Hirara began convincing herself of a terrible idea. If beauty always fades, and if life inevitably leads to suffering, then perhaps death was the only way to preserve beauty forever. In her mind, saving Hanabi no longer meant protecting her. It meant freeing her from the world itself. Later, during the conflict caused by Hanzo's betrayal, Hanabi was severely wounded. Seeking greater power to protect her people, Hanabi submitted herself to the Higanbana armament. As her consciousness sank into darkness, Hirara reached out to her from beneath the Mason. She gently whispered, "Let me save you from this crude, fleeting world." But Hanabi never heard her. A ray of moonlight awakened her, allowing her to escape the illusion and return to reality. Meanwhile, Hirara's obsession continued to grow. Eventually, she gave her entire soul to the Great Armament. She was no longer human. She became a spirit, a living calamity whose sole purpose was to save Hanabi. When the armament seal was finally broken, Hirara returned to the living world. And there, she stood before Hanabi once again. The childhood friend everyone believed to be dead had returned. Hanabi was shocked, then heartbroken. But ultimately, she chose her duty. For the sake of the Scarlet Sect, she attacked Hirara without hesitation. And this is what makes Hirara's story so tragic. She didn't see Hanabi's attack as hatred. She saw it as love, as acceptance, as the embrace she had been longing for all these years. As Hanabi's blade rushed toward her, Hirara smiled through tears and cried out, "Please, embrace me. Please, save me. And finally, please, kill me." Hirara genuinely believed that Hanabi was saving her from erosion, just as she had always wanted to save Hanabi. In the end, Hirara isn't simply a villain. She's a broken soul who could no longer tell the difference between gratitude, love, and obsession. A girl who wanted to save the person she admired most, but lost herself completely in the process. And that is the complete story of Hirara. A guardian who became a calamity, a friend who became an enemy, and a soul who believed that death was the only escape from erosion.